I'm just no country boy. Born in the back room of my grandfather's house, raised partially on a farm. Remember sitting in my grandmother's house during the war. Her only son was in the war, he was a Marine. I remember sitting with her at night, almost in the dark, with one of those old radios and listening to H.B. Keltonborn talk about the war and watching her kind of scramble, where's my boy at? My favorite pastime there was sitting up in my little room in the second story of the house and watching cars come up the bluff and watching the light comes up. No TV, so that was my roots. My family came from either Southwest Virginia or right around East Tennessee. Graduated from high school, went into college. Thought I wanted to be a mining engineer. Initially went to the Colorado School of Mines out in Golden, Colorado. Decided that wasn't for me. Came back to Tennessee and got a degree in chemical engineering. Worked as a chemical engineer for Eastman Chemical for about 5 years. I want to go back to medical school. Had 2 kids at that time, but still went back to medical school, sold a house, got loans, scholarship, and kind of worked my way through medical school. I retired from that, and then SAR became my job. We have all for every man is created equal, and it's true in the SAR. The only requirement to join the SAR is you have an ancestor who fought or participated some way in the Revolutionary War. We don't care if you're black, purple, red, whatever color you are. We don't care what religion you are. We only care about your ancestors and your commitment to the patriotism and the liberty that this country has. We were wanting you to participate in the SAR, not be someone who just joins and that's it. We want you participating. We want your efforts and your work in the SAR. If I look at the age of when men really get interested in the SAR, it's about 50 years old. It's kind of when you're on in your work environment, your kids are getting grown, and your obligations monetary-wise are lessening. So I think to me, the 50-year-olds is who we really need to concentrate on, although we want all the younger members we can get. I really support the CAR. CAR does great work. Those kids are having fun, they're learning, they have great participation. And I'd like to see us working more with the CAR and with those kids to help join the SAR. Remember today, you have to offer being able to participate in efforts to educate the public, the kids, the adults, and the background for the colonial history, the Revolutionary War history. We give them an opportunity to participate in committees and work, such as if you're a lawyer, we have legal committees. If you're interested in history, we have history committees. A big thing that I think that attracts people is the color guard. And that's one of the ways we are really identified as being SAR. You know, most people know what the DAR is, or a lot of people, and the dollars, but they don't know what SAR is. It gives me a chance to explain to them what the SAR is, what we're doing, what our purpose is, and that they can join, especially if they're male. The 250th will be in 2026. That's celebrating the 250th year since the Constitution was signed. The people need to, this is another way to emphasize to people exactly where we're at. How did we get there? Why do we have a Constitution? What it took to us and this nation to get to this point that we are free and we have our freedom and liberty. Without that Constitution and our battle to free ourselves, we wouldn't have that freedom of speech, which is the First Amendment of the Constitution. I know when I joined the SAR, I thought, well, I'll just be a member, I'll get the color guard and go, and I was encouraged along the way to go. And I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe, some of the old PGs, I hate to say old PGs, former PGs, said, well, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And at some point they said, well, when are you going to start advancing? You're going to be the PG. I said, why? Why are you picking me? Well, we just think you could be a PG. So without that encouragement, I would never have gone on. The other thing that happened is, many people don't understand, I had a wife who encouraged me. Each step along the way, I would say, Mary, do you really want to go on for another year? And she said, yeah, let's do it. About 4 years ago, I said, this next step means I've got to go on to PG. It means at least another 5 or 6 years of this traveling and this work. Tell me if you really want to do this, because if you don't, I'll quit today. And she said, no, you need to go on. What I really like to accomplish is, one of the main things is to see this Education Center Museum advance. See it advance so that it's there permanently. I know it's going to grow and it's not going to be there. Second thing is membership. Membership has been flat for the last 5 years. I've been working with the membership committee to say we need to grow membership. One of the problems we have is there is somewhat of a lack of communication from the top leadership and from Congress to get down to the chapters, because the chapters are where all the work is done. They're the place where the membership comes in. They're the membership where you have to retain the membership and reinstate membership. So if the chapters don't work, nothing's going to get done. The communication between SAR leadership needs to get down to those chapters. About the only communication that really comes down like from leadership this time are the trustees. And I've told the trustees again and again, when you go back to the states, you need to tell people what went on at leadership, what decisions were made, why were they made, what motions were made. And then that's in their state level. Then the state presidents have got to go down to the chapters and feed this back to the chapters to give that to inform what's going on. There's things happen, the chapter doesn't know what's going on. We have maybe at leadership of Congress, you maybe have 250 or maybe 300 compatriots are there. That means there's 37,000 other compatriots sitting out there that have no connection unless it comes back from the trustees to the state presidents on down. So I really want to see the communication there, and I want to see the chapters getting more of the information, and the chapters knowing that they are the backbone of this organization. And without them working, this organization will go nowhere.